Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner Albert Cameron. Every year at this time, Al, it's our favorite time of the year. There's something about football season, even though the weather's still gorgeous. Everything gets, the schools open up, the bands come, all this. But there's something about that football season. Your nephew said the other day on Twitter, he said, the grass even smells different when they cut it when football starts.
Yeah, people who have been involved with football and involved with sports know that it's the truth. That every sport has its origin on the environment, has their origin in the house, in the families that are talking right now. Is way more than just on the field that's going on. George, you said it. It's just not the football players. It's the managers. It's the band. It's the choreography. It's the lights coming on. Everything about it. And Saturday afternoons, that is college football. You know, I love Friday night high school, and I love Saturday. I don't like when they put Friday, but that's changed completely. Mm-hmm. But I do love Saturdays because it's college football.
We do a little talk show on the radio, and man, we buzz out of there, and I get all my stuff ready in front of my table. When I'm sitting there, I'm ready for the day. Sometimes it might be 1 o'clock at night, though. I mean, I actually turn
and you're not the only one. There's a million people around this country do that. Yeah. A million people around the country. They'll go to watch a.
Although I got a problem. My cleaning lady told me the other day, now get this. She's going on vacay. I'm good with that. Then she goes, for a month. I'm like, for a month.
She's sticking.
I'm doing something wrong.
She's sticking.
Yeah, she's working for me, and I can't go for a month, and she can't. But so I know I'm going to have to, if I make a mess, I'm going to have to clean my
own thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about our top 25, Al. At 25, this team's a standby. I'll take them anywhere, anytime, including opening week. They're going to Florida State. And Florida State, we're hearing Willie Tiger. First of all, if he does that, he's going. Like last year, it's a disaster.
Right.
A lot of people blame Jimbo. A lot of people say the talent couldn't have been that bad. It couldn't have gotten that bad in the year because they're always ranked in the top in recruiting. But let's talk about Boise. Now, they lose Rippon, but they return the 5. Would you rather have opening game the 5 in front of them or the QB?
I'd have the QB for a question.
Yeah, I
want
you
the,
were
I want
say.
the QB. So
I thought you would say
that's why it's tough that you're not guaranteed by Boise going down there. I know Boise is coming in much more prepared than Florida State.
Oh.
They know how to play these big games. They know how to play them. Florida State was playing those games all the time. But last year, disaster. We're going to find out where Willie takes that team. But let's talk more about Boise. Boise State is the out of the power conference team that everybody always watches for, and them in Central Florida. Boise's going to come in with appearances in bowl games every year. So this game's not going to be, George, this is a big game.
No.
They've played a million of these games over and over.
Let's talk about the group of 5, too. Mm-hmm. I'd say you have them, Central Florida.
Memphis,
yeah. And I got a sleeper.
Do you?
The Black Knights of the Hudson.
Army.
Yes, sir.
I love Army, too.
Yes, sir. They go 11-1.
Yeah, I like Army a lot.
They go to Michigan, and if they happen to win in Ann Arbor, then...
Yeah, we both love Army. There's no question about that. They're dangerous.
I don't think they could keep them out of this tournament 12-0. Do you?
Wow.
I don't think they could. Just something.
Because the name.
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of connections. You think there are connections when Notre Dame doesn't get in? Wait till a couple of these generals pick the phone up. I'm telling you, what boy would I?
To see. Oh, sweet to see.
Oh, how about that opening week? Army and Clemson.
That would be sweet to see.
My Lord. Let's go to 24 because there's a guy there. I don't doubt him. You don't doubt him.
Right.
We know he doesn't get the cream, and we know he usually gets the better athletes, but not enough to play him on defense. That's Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern.
Yeah, this guy would be in our top 5 coaches in the country. Pat Fitzgerald, he's been like that forever. He understands what Northwestern's all about. That's why I think it's so important.
Played there.
You need to know that there are athletes that want to come to Northwestern because of their academics. So that's the ones you focus in on in 10th grade. You don't try to get that 5-star who is not caring about school. But there's enough of them in Stanford to go to Northwestern, to go to Vanderbilt, that you can still put and what he does, George, he gets the best of them. In the Midwest, if you're a 4-point student, he talks you into Northwestern, and somehow, some way, they're good every year.
Oh, there's something. Give me him or Duke Cutcliffe. Like if you said, you got a game to play. I know what Dabo does. I know what Saban does. I know what they have in their stable. I'm saying one game you give me, get him ready. Now, talking to him, I want Lou Holtz.
Right.
But the actual getting ready, I'll take Pat Fitz or I'll take Cutcliffe anywhere in the country.
And he seems to get some guys that buy in and talk their way as recruiting. I'm talking about the players on his team. They got Hunter Johnson there from Clemson. So here's a kid who's waited his turn as a quarterback, saw that he couldn't be at Lawrence. So now all of a sudden they got a good quarterback too. Out of nowhere, they have a really good quarterback.
Yeah, because Thorson last year was fine.
Awesome. He's in camp right now. Yeah.
Let's talk 23. It's one of our guys.
Yes.
One of my
This is Georgia's team right here.
Yeah.
One of Georgia's
They
three
lose
teams.
Drew Lock, which is tough. But, big but. Clemson quarterback coming in. Kelly Bryant. Has he won any big games? A ton.
Yes, and so you're getting a player who can really play. They're comparing with Lawrence. Nobody's as good as Lawrence. So but Kelly Bryant can really play the game. Their great back. Roundtree's back again, and so they offensively they're always good. They finished up really strong last year. George and I will say right now their schedule is made for them. There is no reason unless they completely fall down, they can't be 8-0 or 7-1 going into Week 9. That's what we see.
If you're going to go into Georgia, you don't want to go in there on a losing.
No.
With those boys.
That's the schedule. Sometimes the schedule, George, is important. And Missouri's schedule is.
Whether you go by quarterback, coach, and schedule.
Yeah, and that's the way it's going to be.
This Odom's done a fine job coaching there.
So he's fine too, but the schedule's really made for them, and that's what you want.
Yeah, opening week, they go to Wyoming, and this is this old thing you used to tell me. I'd tell Al, I got to play Seneca Valley. He go, look, if you don't beat Seneca Valley, you're not beating Newcastle.
That's what Missouri's saying right now.
And Missouri's looking there thinking, now, I know that Wyoming's nothing to joke about, but if we can't beat Wyoming, we can't win the SEC.
Can't do the SEC. No
Georgia,
chance.
Florida, Alabama, Auburn,
They'll make fun
LSU,
of you.
Mississippi,
Mississippi But that's one of those ones George will call me and say, this is a conference. They're stepping out to a different conference.
Yeah. No,
Miami's going to see Missouri now, and it's going to be unbelievable when they see their speed.
Yeah,
Missouri's going to speed.
I catch those games once in a while when they step out of conference. A team that's like a middle of the road in a conference like Missouri, they're third, fourth at best in that East, but they'll step out, play a MAC team or something, and it's 31 at the half.
Even better when it goes on the road.
Oh, yeah.
When you go on the road.
Keeps the spot down, too.
Yeah, you have a traveling team of, whatever.
60. The subs aren't there.
Yeah, so you only got 2.5 teams to go to.
No.
All of a sudden, they're really good players on that second
And
team.
here's somebody I could put closer. Michigan State. Here they are now. Here's what's going on there. And we'll talk about D'Antonio. He's not used to last year. There was an aberration, but I'm going to put it all on one guy, Lewerke.
Yeah, he had to be hurt because 2 years ago he was really good. And last year he threw the ball to the wrong team, couldn't throw the ball down the field at all. Let's hope that he's healthy because he is. He go back to 2 years ago, so their defense is going to be one of the top 10 in the country.
And he's one of them that'll pull the ball down and get that big first down. He's a big, strong kid.
He is a big, strong kid.
Let's talk about that for a minute. D'Antonio, his style beats you up with the defense. You make a mistake, you see the game is 24/7. They don't play many of those anymore.
No, and that's what, and it's a struggle when they're last year. I think the 4 games they gave up 2 touchdowns. They lost 3 of them. So their offense was that poor. They still play great defense, but that's the way they play.
Was that them in a bowl game, Washington State or something?
Yes.
One of those, or Stanford, whoever it was. They played the same way, and they got that ball down the field. One more time than they did. Here's the enigma of the whole list. That transfer portal, they filled it so full they couldn't fall over each other to get out the door. Virginia Tech, they lost 8-9 guys. Losing to Old Dominion is the embarrassment of all embarrassments. Still rallied, beat Virginia, made a bowl, but they've got to be better.
And why they're better is they got rid of all the guys that were all the trouble. Sometimes you want to get rid of a little better player who is causing total headaches. Last year they had so many problems. So Fuentes was really happy. He said, Coach Fuentes said, listen, I'll be happy if some of you left, and I'm also be happy if some of you transferred today. And they did. And 14 of them left, and it sounds like that they're really back where they were before. We were all like Virginia Tech.
Let's talk about Virginia Tech. You were traveling, and you tell me about the recruiting area. Like, people don't realize there's a fertile area there.
In Virginia,
and they whack that thing. That's one of the reasons I heard that one of those SEC teams, originally, they didn't want Virginia Tech in the SEC. There was talk when all those conferences shook out, and they said, no.
Yeah, Virginia and Virginia Tech both have recruiting bases there. Now, people have been taking over that. Clemson has been coming in there. Other teams have been coming into the Richmond
Remember
area.
Joe Paterno? He was famous. He owned Pennsylvania.
Yes.
But that one or two guy group from New Jersey.
He loved New Jersey.
Virginia.
He loved New Jersey.
And the next thing you know, he's got Lydell Mitchell or Franco or whoever he had.
Yes.
And you're looking and you're thinking, how did he get away from Virginia?
Yeah, some of these guys who know,
Or
if you can set your tone in there and get your name in there, and then the high school coaches call you.
Yeah.
That's and Virginia Tech this is your big year for Fuentes.
Let's talk about
Big
Bud
year.
Foster. He's leaving. He's been there
33 years.
33 years. The lunch bucket, they sit it down before the game. And that's what he reminds you of. Old school, no nonsense, rally to the football. Do they have enough?
Oh yes, that's one thing. We know Virginia Tech has players. Watch the NFL draft. They get guys drafted every year, so I know they have players. It's just so is the other ACC teams too.
Yeah.
But dissension hit so bad last year that they had to struggle through it. I think they're back where they have to be.
Oh, they said there were guys telling guys not to score or something.
In a Marshall game.
Oh, my goodness.
Said, don't score touchdowns, we're going to beat you up. Oh, jeez.
We got to get rid of those guys.
Give the guy credit. He was a freshman. He said, I'm scoring anyway. He did. He caught a 45-yard touchdown pass.
Let's talk Nebraska. Now, if you go by preseason hype and you go by that love affair they all have with his coach from Central Florida, they're winning it all.
Yeah, they love Nebraska the way they finished last year. They really finished strong. I'm a big Martinez man, gigantic Martinez man. I think he's the perfect college quarterback. Frost gets those kind of quarterbacks.
Scott Frost.
He gets those kinds. He gets those kind of quarterbacks.
Okay.
He is not afraid to go out of the box and say he's 2 inches too small, but he can really play. He did it with the quarterback of Central Florida. And now he's doing it with the quarterback of Nebraska. Nebraska will put up a lot of points if they play any kind of defense.
Do you have them winning the West?
No, there's Iowa's still there. Wisconsin's still there. I can't say
Northwestern.
that. Yeah, they're still there.
That league's better than people think.
Yeah.
They tend to look at the little sister because Ohio State,
But they're all getting better too.
Michigan
That's
State,
the problem.
Penn
That's
State.
the problem.
Okay.
They're all getting better.
Yeah, Minnesota's 97%
Yeah,
of
they're
their
all
offense.
getting better. I'm going to miss some teams. Purdue's getting better.
They're just automatically winning.
Yeah, there's
Purdue.
teams getting better. So yeah,
Good
Nebraska's
point,
going to be better, but they're all getting better.
Hey, Al, let's talk about this. Any reflection on the coach? What if 5 in single possession games?
No, because it was first year. Not at all.
Okay.
No, not at
So
all.
you say maybe he's
Yeah.
the reason it was that close.
Yeah, I like the way they finished the year.
Okay.
That's what I like. I lived it at YSU. When Coach Ray Dempsey came in, we lost our first 5 games with him, went 4-1 the last 5 games, and everybody said, wait, what happened? We had to get accustomed to everything he did, and by the time then end of the year, we were playing, ended up making the first team in YSU's playoffs the next year. I really think Nebraska's going to be good. I don't think it's blown smoke. I think Nebraska's really going to be good.
Okay. Central Florida. If Mackenzie Milton were there,
We'd be sure thing.
I'm on board, baby.
Yes.
But he's not. Then the backup got hurt. Now it's. I think it's the guy transferred from Notre Dame, and he never sold me. Let's talk about CF.
Yeah, but I know that Wimbush is going to be happy with the offense they're running at Central Florida.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to make you look a lot better.
That's for him.
You throw that ball up in the air and the receivers jump up and get it.
And he can take off with it.
Yeah, and you got guys that bust through and go 80 yards instead of 20 yards. They got explosive attack. That's just the way it is. Central Florida gets ready for that one game. You better be ready because they are a talented bunch. Anybody from Florida, Georgia's recruiting in Florida, has talent.
Let's talk about them too. I'm going to give them credit. They're coming to Pitt, and they're inviting Stanford in.
It's a good schedule.
Now, if you want to play the big boys,
yes,
you invite Stanford in. You're going. Let's say what do you know is going to happen? Well, you're going to get your nose bloodied.
Yeah. Stanford plays that way for sure, so it's going to be a run the ball down your throat. We're going to find out how Central Florida is on the line of scrimmage, but also Stanford's going to say, "Wait a minute, I didn't know there was this much speed on the field either."
Yeah, we'll say
Central Florida has
this:
some speed.
playing without their quarterback, they didn't embarrass themselves against LSU.
No, Mac's that good though. See, and it'll be interesting. I'm going to have to find out for sure, George, if Mac's out for sure. Because if not, I don't think Wimbush is going to beat him out. I think Mac will take
Mac,
the.
yeah,
we're going to find out if he's out too.
Let's talk Iowa because, I watch these games and this Kirk Ferentz is a legend. He's literally a legacy of Joe Moore. Mm-hmm. He'd have a job in 5 minutes. If he left Iowa, in 5 minutes he would be the coach of the Green Bay Packers or whomever. I watch him do stuff that I sit back. The one day he was down 10 and he went for one.
I remember that day too.
And after the game, the guy raised his hand. He said, "Coach," he said, "you were down." And he said, "Yeah, we knew." He said, "Yeah, Coach, that's why I'm asking, because you could have cut it to 8.
Yeah.
But the point is, he's
Always
well
there.
thought of.
They're always there.
Always there.
Always there.
This Stanley guy, 26 touchdowns.
He's been there forever too. He's
3
one of those guys
great
that never
running
graduates.
backs. They lose tight ends, but they seem to grow tight ends.
Oh, they have another one. They have another one coming back this year.
Do they?
Yeah, another one. They had 3 last year. 2 of them left, but the other one's coming back is tremendous. You'd never cross off Iowa. Of all the teams, you think, who don't we want to play on a Saturday? Going to Iowa, you're thinking, oh, jeez.
I read something.
Nobody loves playing there.
I read something the other day. Like, a guy was talking, he goes, hold it. Hold it, he goes. You mentioned Nebraska. You mentioned Wisconsin. You mentioned Northwestern. He said, hold it. Here's your guy to worry about, the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, we got Iowa, Wisconsin even. We in our eye thoughts, they're dead even coming in with Nebraska right behind them. They're all good. They're all very good teams too. This isn't a fluke league. This isn't a league that's not good. Iowa's got offensive linemen that are going to the pros.
Oh.
They have them Wisconsin has offensive linemen going to the pros. Yeah. So everybody looks for that flash, George.
Flash and dash. Iowa
and Wisconsin are not flashing.
We work with a guy like that in Pennsylvania. He's always talking about those fast guys. They're wide eyes. We said, yeah, we know they're wide outs are as fast, but we're looking at these SEC linemen.
Yes.
And when you watch the pro draft,
yeah, that's what you look at. And Iowa's defensive backs are always drafted, so they always put their best guys on the corners and a safety. One local kid, Stone from Newcastle, is starting there. Yeah. So that's one example.
He's an athlete, I can tell you that. Yeah. He's in that hooker mold.
Yeah, he is.
And he's in the stinking NFL.
Same way. Exactly.
Let's talk Auburn opening game. Oh,
that's a great game.
Bless, I can't have my zone. Although -2, they've made it certainly convenient enough. If you think Auburn's going to win, they're going to win by 2.
And Auburn's really either great or they have a struggling season. It's going to be interesting what's going to happen this year.
Let's talk about them. They're 8-5, 7-5 going in. You and I are big from Purdue fans, but we knew that day what was coming. That was going to be. That was like Secretariat running down a Mountaineer.
And that's proof of the talent they have on the field. And that's what I'm saying. You're playing in the SEC every week, and you can't throw the ball. You're going to get in trouble. But if you can run the ball down somebody's throat and then throw deep when the speed gets behind you, that's Auburn. Ozona is still every year top 7 recruiting class in the country. I think his job's on the line this year.
What's he need to do, Camp? 10?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, whoa.
That's the problem.
He can't.
When we say that.
LSU.
That's what I mean. It's not easy.
No, you got LSU and Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, those are great teams.
I mean, and you're not mentioning like the stub your toe games, Mississippi State, Texas A&M.
That's why it's hard.
Oregon, I saw something the other day. They had Trevor Maddich on. He went out and he visited with I guess this Oregon line is
supposed to be really good.
Really good, and he's their size to start with. So they're having a good old time showing pictures of guys pancaking guys and running guys down 20 yards downfield. And I'm thinking, I may have to readjust my Auburn thoughts there. Because that would where you'd think that would be where Auburn had the advantage on the defensive line.
They do have the advantage. But I will say this, and I know I'm on Auburn for sure. I don't think Oregon has seen anybody on the defensive side like Auburn. Like that league is Utah, and that's it defensively. No one else, I'm telling you.
And even Utah, I'm going to say about Utah, because I know.
They ain't
I'm
Auburn.
the biggest Utah fan.
So am I.
I love that coach.
So do I.
But when I think Utah, you know what I think? 9-3.
Yeah, it's hard to get past that. And I have them rated really high. That's my surprise team. But it's hard because they don't get all 5 stars.
No.
They don't get all 5 stars, no question.
All right, let's move on. Wisconsin, we talked a little bit about it. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor, he only has 4,200 yards in 2 seasons.
And they're going to run the same plays they ran forever. No one uses tight ends like Wisconsin. I had a coach that visited Wisconsin. I said, why did you visit there? He says, because we have good tight ends in our high school, and no one uses tight ends like Wisconsin. They're always pounding the ball down your throat. But Taylor can take a 5-yarder and make it 60.
75.
No.
So
that's what's different.
That guy, he's as good as there is. I've watched him enough times in 2 years to know that you don't want him to get into that secondary because if he does. But you mentioned Hornibrook's going. He graduated and went somewhere else.
He did. He transferred. That's what happened. Yes.
I mean, I don't mean this in a disparaging way, but if you think of the word ordinary,
That's what he is.
he comes to mind.
And that's all Wisconsin really wants. They've won so many games with guys. They are the true team. That says,
Game manager.
Don't make any mistakes, and we'll win the game.
No, I got
They're the one team that
Texas,
does
here's
that.
a team I'll have to see.
They're lower on our schedule.
We have them
They're in
15.
top 10 on every
Ellinger,
thing.
to me, he's okay.
They have
Maybe
him rated
slightly
really high.
better.
They have him rated so high.
I look at Oklahoma, and I think they're not going to lose to Texas twice.
Yeah, and the Longhorns are one of those teams that, of all on our list, they are in them and Michigan are in everybody's top 10.
Yes.
And until we see Texas do it, I know they finished strong. I know they've been finishing a bowl game and play. I know that Sam Ellinger's highly rated. For George and I are one of those theme guys that say, "Show us first. Show us what you can do." We'll see.
Yeah.
See how Tom Herman does.
Now Herman likes being the underdog, but he's not going to be the underdog
Not
very
this year.
many times.
Not this year.
How about week 2?
LSU. Yeah, I know.
Be quiet in there.
It's gonna be a great game.
Hey,
It's gonna be a great
Orgeron,
game.
you know he doesn't have any players on
He has
defense.
so many players he doesn't know what to do with them.
How about this guy? Every year, comes from Boise every year. You know Washington's going to be right in the thick of it up there. They may not win it, but they're going to have a voice in who does.
Well, he got really good players this year. I mean, when you get Jacob Eason to transfer in, I mean, he's a 5-star deluxe.
4 linemen back.
Yeah, they got players at Washington. They got their running back who's been sitting out Amon, who's been waiting his turn, is going to really play. They are the hidden agenda at home. I don't think anybody in the country. There's 2 places, Oregon and Washington, out there that you think.
You don't want to.
11 o'clock at night, we're going to play those 2 places. Look out! Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
13 Penn State. That's a good spot.
That's
for
where they're at.
The guy recruits all kinds of 5
can really
stars,
recruit.
some 4 stars. He's got to replace McSorley. The bottom line is schedule's tough. You got Michigan
But he does
State,
play
Ohio State.
in the
He's got players.
in the off season, in the preseason though. He scheduled some easy ones.
I said
Yeah,
the
so
guy called our
so
show
he
the
scheduled
other
some
day.
easy ones.
Do you have any shame at all? Buffalo and Pitt. And Pitt's a tough one.
Yeah, Pitt's considered a tough one. Yeah, but I'm just saying that Penn State has players. If they get players from Clifford, then they'll be fine. They get quarterback play. I know that Penn State. That's why they're in our top 15. People might not. They definitely have talent wise, no question about it.
And here's another thing to talk about Penn State too. I know when Journey Brown isn't starting that they have runners.
Number 1 in the state in track, ran for 7,000 yards. Watched them dominate in high school.
Oh, he's a track.
So Slade's there waiting. Slade's been waiting his turn, just like that Miles did for.
We were on. We knew Miles was more than him.
Sanders did. So it was Sanders. You got Slade waiting his turn. Hey, Penn State has a cupboard of players, just like these big time teams do.
Now here's your team.
This is
your
my
sleeper
team.
12.
This is mine.
I have no faith in this coach, so Albert does. So what do you think?
Yeah, but this is my team. My team is Southern Cal. They aren't in anybody's top 30. They aren't hitting anybody's top 30 list. I put them at number 12. I could even put them lower, but I can't yet because they have to get it done in the field. I just think he made a smart move. They had the 3 best wide receivers in the country, and they weren't throwing the ball. And he said, okay, I don't know enough about the passing game. I'm bringing Harrow in to run Kingsbury air raid. They're going to throw the ball all over the field with Daniels, who was an all-American high school kid coming in. I just think they're going to put points up against everybody. I don't think you can cover. They're the Pittman and Vaughn, and those aren't even their best. They just have so many receivers. I like Southern Cal a lot,
Right.
And we'll see what happens because Helton's his job's on the line, George.
No,
if he doesn't win this year, he's gone.
He's fired. A&M, Jimbo Fisher, their second year should be better. Schedule's murder, but
But they got players, too.
And there's a commitment there. What do you need, Jimbo? Here's a check.
Yeah, of all the schools, they're number one. They're number 1 in the country. Them in Texas and Ohio State.
How about this though? Road trip: Clemson, Georgia, LSU.
Pretty tough, huh?
Can't be done.
Pretty tough. That is difficult. Bond is an outstanding. Mon is a great quarterback. Mon can really play.
Yeah, he can.
Let's see what happens though, because teams know about A&M.
Exactly.
They're not going to sneak up on A&M.
No, okay. We've got 5 minutes left. Let's get to Michigan at 10. They're higher everywhere else.
Yes.
You and I are Missouri. We want to be shown.
Yeah, they're in the top 5 in the country everywhere. Phil still has them in the playoffs. We put them at 10. Harbaugh's still trying to beat Ohio State. Until they do, we cannot put them ahead of them.
No, we can't. It's that simple. A guy said to us the other day, well, they got this, I said, yeah, when they beat them once.
Yes.
Not until.
Beat Ohio State.
Notre Dame, I think the play speaks for itself. Book's back. They always have linemen. They always have receivers. The key is big. Can they run the ball? They always look to be able to run the ball.
Armstrong's there too. He waited his turn.
Sometimes he forgets the running game.
He's a passing guy.
Yes,
yeah, Armstrong's there though. They had good defense last year, really good defensive players. Notre Dame has recruited tremendously. They coming off a very successful season. They'll keep it going. I just don't know if they can get in the top 4 this year.
Good. At 8, Florida opens the season next week. We'll know right away.
Well, Florida
haven't won the championship since Tebow.
Florida's really talented defensively. They're going to be speed all over the plummet after you. I just am a big Franks guy.
No.
If Franks could play better, they'd be in my top 5.
Yes.
He's just not.
And you know what else they're good at? Scoop and score. Tip
Always.
balls. If they intercept the ball, watch out. It's going.
Touchdown. Same
it's
team.
going to the house.
And the next team the same exact way.
Yeah.
LSU the same way.
Or more players. Orgeron has more players. Well, look at the pro draft.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow's come back as quarterback, another Ohio State transfer, coming in his second season. You really improve in that second year. If there's a team that could sneak in that Final Four, no question about it, it is LSU. Can Orgeron do it? Is your boy, can he do it, George?
No, he's not capable.
Okay, he's not going to get it done.
Utah. What do you
I love Utah.
That's your team.
That's
we
another one I
love the coach. We
I love
the
Utah.
coach.
I think Utah is really dangerous. I think their schedule's made for them. I think their defensive line is really, really good. And I think Tyler Huntley is an underrated quarterback.
See, here's what I don't like about leagues like this. They don't post Stanford or Oregon.
I know.
I mean, God bless them.
Isn't that nice how that happens?
Yeah.
Yes.
5, Oklahoma.
Here's Georgia's team.
I'll take them every year.
This is George. I tell him every year not to take him.
Yeah.
And he says every year, I'm taking him anyway.
I'm taking him. I took him again.
George hasn't won the
They
national
named
championship.
Jalen Hurts today.
That was no doubt. There was no doubt on that.
No. You know what? One of the reasons I do that, and this is goofy maybe, but I think it's easier for them to get there.
From the Big 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the league's no defense.
You don't think it's weak as
well? No. Yeah, I do think the league's weak. There's no defense.
You think the league's weaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then to win, you have to beat the second place team. There is no real championship.
Right.
That's my point.
Okay. So they have to win every game, though, to get there. But Georgia thinks they're going to run the table. That's Oklahoma.
How about Alabama?
Well, Alabama's number 1 or number 2 in every place except here.
We got number 3.
Yeah, we got a number 3, and it's the first time they're going to get beat this year. You can figure out who it's going to be from how our countdown. Alabama has the best wide receiver crew in the country. Waddle's my favorite wide receiver in the country, and he's their second guy. That's all you got to know.
And Tua Tagovailoa, he's either going to be first pick.
Oh yeah, he's
if
right
they
there.
don't take the kid from Oregon because the Clemson kid has to come back.
Yeah, and so there's Judy, who's all over the place, the number 1 receiver in the country.
Yeah.
So Alabama's loaded. I just think there's a team. Now we couldn't put them ahead of Clemson because Clemson buried them last year.
No. They put the speed limit on.
Yeah, and Clemson has Lawrence coming back, the number 1 quarterback in the country. I think they're going to take a downer defensively. There's no way they can repeat 3 defensive linemen taken in the first round. They can't. But they're that good, and that leaves us number 1. And this is my pick. Georgia has Oklahoma. I have Georgia. I think this is the team that has been waiting for this year.
How about this, Al? They've played Alabama twice and been ahead the whole game at the last 2 minutes.
And I'm going by that, too.
Both times.
And I'm going by that. I just think it's their year. I think they have a runaway freight train in Swift.
Okay.
I think people don't know about him. Now he's going to get the ball all the time. And when he gets the ball all the time, he's going to be a running back that you're going to deal with. Fromm is ready. Fromm is ready to win that national championship. So if you want to put money at your casino, put money on Oklahoma and Georgia to win the national championship, you'll come home a winner.
Okay,
That's
30 seconds left. Kirby Smart, it looks like Alabama light. Are they finally ready to?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I believe it is. I think it's Georgia's team. I think it's Georgia's year. They have the best offensive line in the country, bar none. I think it starts there with the quarterback's 30-year player, the Georgia Bulldogs, national champion.
You heard it here on Bottom Line Sports Talk. Thanks for watching.